Namaskaram. Sai Sat Charitra Amrit is an abridged form of Sai Sat Charitra. Sri A. Govindarajan has taken the massive garland of Sai Sat Charitra, gathered a few colourful flowers from that, and made a small bouquet. I will start by reading a preface by him. Prostrating humbly countless times at the lotus feet of Sai Gajanana, who bestows supreme bliss, I start writing the small book Sri Sai Sat Charitra Amrit. Sri Hemant Pant has compiled the divine place of Sri Sainath into a massive garland and has adorned Sainath with that. But it is not easy for everyone to recite and adorn the Lord in one day at a go with this massive garland, as they would be wanting in time and strength. The thought that if from out of this massive garland many colourful flowers are gathered and a small bouquet is made, it would be easy to adorn our Lord with that daily or on holy days like Guru Purnima, Thursdays, holy day for Guru. Sankranti was seeded by Baba on 17/2/2003 when I completed my usual Sri Satyanarayana Puja while I was in Chennai for a long trip. First, it flowered as a small write-up in Tamil, and since many, including my daughter, was not proficient in Tamil, I translated it in simple English on Guru Purnima Day. Sri Sainath instigated me and himself prepared this bouquet for the sake of his dear devotees. This flower bouquet is submitted at the golden feet of Sainath. A. Govindakrishnan, National Games Village, Koramangala, Bangalore. Chapter 1. Baba Grinds Wheat. Hemant Pant, after prostrating first to his Ganapati Sri Sainath, salutes to Saraswati, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Narayan Adinath, all rishis of his lineage, later day saints, his forefathers, and then narrates the following event. Sometime after 1910, one fine morning, Baba started grinding wheat in the masjid. Large crowd gathered to see his action. 4 ladies voluntarily came forward, forcibly removed Baba and started grinding the wheat, singing his praise. Later, when they tried to share the flour amongst themselves, Baba became furious and ordered them to spray it at the outskirts of Shirdi. People said that this was the panacea Baba devised for warding off cholera from Shirdi. On thinking of this divine sport, my heart was filled with joy and an urge to write Baba's Satcharita. Sai Baba, who lived in Shirdi for almost 60 years, used to grind wheat on many occasions. In reality, he was grinding off the sins, physical and mental agonies of his countless devotees. Chapter 2. Title to Dabolkar. The life history of saints is not a topic for logical argument or for debate. The saints resolve for the emergency of their biography, and the writer is merely an instrument. The stories of Sai Baba give peace of mind and happiness to those carrying the heavy burden of pain and sadness of this world. Giving Udi and placing his wish-fulfilling hand on Hemant Pant's head, Sai Baba said, I should write my own life history and fulfill the cherished desire of my devotees. Dabolkar, while narrating how in 1910 he came first to Shirdi on the advice of Nana Chandokar and was attracted by Baba, also describes how Baba came to know by his omniscience the assertion made by him to Sri Bhate that Guru was not needed and nicknamed him Hemant Pant. Next day, when Hemant Pant was in the masjid, Baba told Kaka Dikshit, to reach high above, there is a route also from here. If one takes the assistance of a guide, he will steer clear of tiger, fox, ditches, etc. and take straight to the goal. This was the answer to the debate that Hemant Pant had the previous day whether one needed a guru or not. Chapter 3. Story of Rohilla. Giving permission to write his Satcharitra, Baba told to Shama, "If a person utters my name with love, I will fulfill his desires and accelerate his devotion. I will surround him from all sides. I will pull out my devotees from the jaws of death. If my stories are listened to, all diseases will vanish. Merely reminding Sai, Sai will wipe out the sins arising out of talks and gossips." Again, looking at Hemant Pant, Baba said, he should turn his attention on me, avoiding the company of atheists, irreligious and cruel people. Be humble with all and bow to me with body and soul. If he does that, he will attain limitless bliss. Rohilla was built like a bull and recited Quran loudly in the night in the masjid. The highly disturbed villagers requested Baba to make him stop the nuisance. However, Baba told them that Rohilla had a wicked wife named Santipi, and since he recited Quran loudly, she did not disturb him and Rohilla. In fact, Rohilla had no wife, and Baba had personified his bad tendencies as his wife. One day, after the noon arati, Baba gave the following advice: "Wherever you may be and whatever you do, I know everything. I am the one who controls and motivates this universe. Sorrow will not touch one who diverts his attention towards me. All forms of life and lifeless ones of this world are my body or my manifestation." Hemant Pant says that on hearing this priceless advice, he decided in his mind not to serve anyone except our Sai Sadguru. Chapter 4. Advent of Saints to Shirdi. Whenever righteousness declines and evil raises its head, God and on his behalf, saints and saviors emerge at appropriate time. That way, Shirdi Sai Baba also descended on earth. Peace was his ornament. His heart was as pure as mirror. His coat was attractive. Though he was a realized soul, he acted as one seeking realization. His darshan is our effort for self-realization. His directions are our ancient texts. Partaking his udi and other offerings will purify everything. He alone is our Rama, Krishna and Supreme Lord. 96-year-old Gauli Bua, a devotee of the Lord of Pandharpur, who came to Shirdi annually, used to say, "This person, Baba, is the reincarnation of Pandharpur Vittal, who shows mercy to the helpless and poor ones." Once, Baba told Das Ganu that if one sincerely meditated on the name of God, then Lord Vittal would present himself. Somehow it did not occur to Ganu that the Baba who was talking to him was the very Vittal. Once, Baba told to one Bhagavantrao Kshirasagar that the latter's father was his devotee, but Bhagavantrao had starved Vittal and him, that is, he had stopped worshipping Vittal. Once, Das Ganu wanted to go to Prayag and have bath in the holy river Ganges. Baba told him, "Our Prayag is very much here," and immediately Ganges water started streaming out steadily from the two toes of Baba. No one knows about the details of birth, etc. of Baba. He was merely seen to live as a handsome young man under the neem tree. Once, on the direction of the one on who Lord Kandoba had descended, people dug up at a place. Under the earth, people saw devotional ornaments, articles for rituals and burning lamps. Baba told them that it was his Guru's sacred place and told them to close the pit. Sate purchased the place around the neem tree and Sate Vada was built by him. Baba said that those who burn incense in the evenings of Thursday and Friday near the neem tree would get happiness. After some time, Dikshit constructed a vada which was greatly used to pilgrims. Later, Sri Booty, a millionaire, constructed a stone vada. It is here now that mortal remains of our Lord Sainath is interned and is known as Samadhi Mandir.